والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So we are now in chapter 21, Bab لا تقطع من كان يصل أباك فيطفأ نورك. So this is the chapter, don't cut off ties with the person that your father used to maintain ties with, then the nur, then your light will be extinguished. Alright, as we already know, with the light being extinguished part, that was the previous hadith? Hadith number 40, right? Is that hadith authentic or not authentic?
40.
We're on hadith number 42. So the hadith number 40 was da'if. We went over the hadith that was mahfuz and Ibn Umar. So both of those were on Ibn Umar, but the one that had the extinguishing of the light, that hadith is not authentic. So you can already tell from the chapter heading of this hadith that we're about to go into a hadith that is also not authentic. Alright, so أخبرنا بشر بن محمد قال أخبرنا عبد الله قال أخبرنا عبد الله بن لاهق قال أخبرني سعد بن عبادة الزرقي, and there he is, سعد بن عبادة الزرقي. You see him? تقرأ معي أم لا؟ سعد بن عبادة الزرقي is مجهول. Alright, and Abahu, alright, قال كنت, when his father is Sahabi, but his son is what? مجهول. Alright, كنت جالسا في مسجد المدينة مع عمرو بن عثمان فمر بنا عبد الله بن السلام رضي الله عنه متكئا على ابن أخيه فنفذ عن المجلس ثم عطف عليه فرجع عليهم فقال ما شئت عمرو بن عثمان مرتين أو ثلاثا فوالذي بعث محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بالحق إنه لفي كتاب الله عز وجل مرتين لا تقطع من كان يصل أباك فيطفأ بذلك نورك. So this hadith is all types of way you're going to see in a second.
Types of way light?
All types of way, it's like, you'll see. Alright. So Abdullah ibn Salam said he was he said for Marrabina. So Abdullah ibn Salam, he passed by us muttaqiyan ala ibn akhihi, and he was leaning on his cousin, his nephew. Alright, his nephew. فنفذ عن المجلس. And نفذ, if you say نفذ عن شيء, alright, نفذ عن شيء, it means أعرض عنه. If you say نفذت عن المجلس, it means أعرضت عن المجلس. It means that he didn't sit, he went away from the majlis. ثم عطف عليه. Then he came back around and فرجع عليه. Then he went away from the majlis and then he came back. Alright, he returned to it. فقال ما شئت عمرو بن عثمان. He said, what is it that you want, oh Amr bin Uthman? And مرتين أو ثلاثا. He asked him this 2 times or 3 times? 3 times. فوالذي بعث محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بالحق. And he swore, he said, so I swear by the one that sent Muhammad with the truth. Of course, this is a halaf billah. إنه لفي كتاب الله. He said that verily it is in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. مرتين. And he said this 2 times. لا تقطع من كان يصل أباك. He said, don't cut off the ties with the person that your father used to keep ties with. فيطفأ بذلك نورك. And then, because if you do that, then your light will be extinguished. Now, he said, إِنَّهُ لَفِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. Do you know an ayat like this in the Quran? No, because he's narrating from the Torah. He's not narrating from the Quran. So, if you see here, Abdullah ibn Salam is a person who's known for what? He's known for like narrating from the books of the Jews and the Christians. So this right here, when he says إِنَّهُ لَفِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ, he's not referring to the Quran, he's referring to the Torah. The hadith is da'if. Aslan. The hadith is da'if, and I think even Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah made it da'if. Yes or no?
ضعيف الإسناد.
What do you say?
Yes, he said ضعيف الإسناد سعد الزرقي مشهور.
مشهور. Okay, خلاص. Alhamdulillah. You know. Finally, well, it's not that there hasn't been a lack of agreement between here and Shaykh al-Albani, but with the details. So finally, the detail was there. So alhamdulillah, that's beautiful. Bab al-Wud. So this hadith is da'if.
I have a question. Can you explain again ثم عطف عليه فرجع عليهم?
He went back to the majlis. He left the majlis, and then he عطف عليهم is from the awatif. Or so he basically he went back to them, he returned to them after he left them.
عطف. So عطف means patient, he said?
He was pacing.
Pacing, so عطف means رجع.
No, he wasn't pacing. Like he left.
Yeah.
He like I'm not nothing to do with this majlis. And then he was like, no, فرجع عليهم. He said ثم عطف عليه.
ثم
No, عطف has the meaning of awatif, and it could mean something else. I have to go back and check exactly what it means in this hadith.
Because doesn't عطف mean emotions? عواطف doesn't mean emotions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. فعطف عليه. So maybe he felt like, I should go back.
Oh, so we have one or two meanings.
So فرجع عليه. No, it says فرجع.
No, like عطف.
It doesn't mean رجع here. He said فرجع عليه. He said رجع. So عطف here has nothing to do with the rujur. It has to do with the fact that he just whatever, maybe he felt bad or whatever for whatever reason.
Oh.
And he went back and he returned to the majlis. And that's why he said, ما شئت عمر بن عثمان. ما شئت هنا, it means what do you want? Like ماذا تريد? ماذا تريد يا عمر بن عثمان? And he asked him this 3 times. And then he told him what he told him. But this hadith is da'if, but the asl of it, as far as we've seen from the hadith that is authentic, and of course as we know from our deen, is that, yes, as far as the father after his death, that we continue to maintain ties with whoever the father maintained those ties of kinship with, we continue to maintain those ties, because those are the ties of Quraba, those are the close relatives, whoever that your father maintained ties with, obviously maintain ties with them, because what?
They had love for each other.
Because they're the closeness to each other, their closeness and their love for each other, so you continue to maintain those ties after his death, regardless of the authenticity of this hadith. So, alright, Bab al-Wud yutawarith. So he said a chapter, this is the love is inherited, like it's passed down. And this is because, why? Because who your father loves, after his death, what? You continue on the love that your father had for that person, or the connection that the father had with that person, you try to maintain those connections. So it's inherited, it's passed down. Even though this hadith is also going to be da'if, but the meaning is correct, yes. Yes, the concept is correct. حدثنا بشر بن محمد قال أخبرنا عبد الله ظاهر والله أعلم is عبد الله بن مبارك. Allah knows best. قال أخبرنا محمد بن عبد الرحمن عن محمد بن فلان بن طلحة, and there is your problem, not you, not Robert. Robert is not your problem.
And
Muhammad ibn Fulan ibn Talha is the problem. He is mashhur. Alright, so and Muhammad ibn Fulan ibn Talha, where is safe? عن أبي بكر بن حزم عن رجل من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So we have another problem. Well, we'll get back to that in a second. Let me read the hadith first. قال كفيتك أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الود يتوارث. Alright, so he said that it's sufficient for you. It's sufficient. What I'm going to tell you is that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said what? إن الود يتوارث. That the love is what?
inherited.
And is inherited. So we have Muhammad ibn Fulan ibn Talha. What did Shaykh al-Albani say?
ضعيف.
Alright, what did he say? The Allah.
This is like parentheses ضعيفة and ثلاثمية.
Parentheses of da'ifa, it means that it's in silsilat al-da'ifa. Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, he has a silsilat al-sahiha and a silsilat al-da'ifa. So if it says al-da'ifa in parentheses, that means that he put it in that book. What else?
And then I think this is the hadith number.
Alright, so it's basically, it's Muhammad ibn Fulan ibn Talha. So he is majhul. So the hadith is not accepted. Then we have another problem. It says, An Rajul min ashab al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he said, then it was reported by a man from the Sahaba. Can we take this hadith?
No,
Why?
because a man from the Sahaba,
What?
it's not, we're gonna know who the Sahaba is, right?
Does anybody have a conflicting opinion?
Yeah, I say yes and no.
Because even when the angel Gabriel came and nobody knew who he was, but Rasulullah explained who he was. So for nobody to know who the person is, that's we can't take.
So we can't take
from somebody.
a man from the Sahaba told him.
No, we can't.
Like,
Okay, what do you say?
I say yes and no.
No, there's no yes and no.
No,
Choose
because-
one of those two and
because,
argue that
like,
point.
When I say, like, for example,
مُذَبْذَبِينَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ لَا إِلَهَ هَؤُلَاءِ وَلَا إِلَهَ هَؤُلَاءِ. What is this, man?
because like,
You know what the ayah means?
It have to be somebody that
Allah said about
sound,
the
good standing,
munafiqeen.
reliable
He
source.
said that the مُذَبْذَبِينَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ. Like they don't go to the truth, like they're like hanging in the middle. They sit on the fence, right? They don't go to the right. They don't go la ilaha illallah wa la ilaha. They won't stay with this group and you stay with them. So if they're like winning, we're with them. If they're winning, we're with them. But they just sit in the middle to see like who's gonna,
I say,
To not irritate either side. No.
Yeah.
The person has to be silent.
Alright, you said you got you.
I'll say yes because if
Well, you
someone-
said yes.
no, like,
Because I said whoever has a conflicting view, I don't want you to agree with them.
oh no, I said yes because my support for that is like if someone like Abdullah Mubarak, he said قال رجل من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and he's definitely someone who is trustworthy and acceptable. I have like no issue in saying no, you're not trustworthy enough to say that we're not going to accept what the Prophet ﷺ said, because if someone like him said it, then
So only if it's a person like
he's
you.
known.
if someone like a person like him.
But you're talking about the criteria is you're establishing that somebody is known.
Let's see if anybody, check the comments. Let's see if anybody,
Somebody is in good standing.
because you guys both are like, check the comments and see if somebody can get
We're
it
just
in
trying to
the
get to the truth. Sah.
Huh?
You're correct.
Of course,
We're just
of
trying to
course.
get to the truth.
We'll see if somebody in the comments, you never know, somebody jumps out and says, no, it's like this, it's like this.
For some reason your account's not popping up. It always pops up.
Maybe we blocked you. Are you Ismail?
No. My sister just had a baby and his name is Ismail.
Well, he's blocked. No comments? All right.
Oh, please restate the question.
Oh, for the latecomers.
I think someone named Abdul Haq.
The question is, if somebody narrates a hadith and says, عن رجل من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So he narrates it and he says, from a man from the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that hadith, can we accept that hadith, assuming that the rest of the chain of narration is authentic? Not like this hadith, because the chain of narration before this is already da'if. So assuming that we have a chain of narration that's authentic and it gets down to the companion and he says, a man from the companions told me, can we accept that hadith? Is that authentic?
Yes.
You said yes, but only with that condition that you stated.
Only with that condition.
And you say no with any condition.
I say no.
And I say both of you are wrong.
So I was at the first time.
No, I understand because the concept follows something that's sahih, but to give us something from someone who is a companion.
Well, see, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say about the companions? He said that, وَمَنْ يُشَاقِقَ الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and chooses other than the path of the believers, which are the companions, رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already expressed His pleasure with all of the Sahaba. So that means that the Sahaba are what? All of them have adala. So as long as this person is a person that narrates from the Sahaba, he's known to narrate, he might be authentic, Like, for example, Malik ibn Anas, he's an imam. But if he says, an rajulun min al-sahaba, the hadith is what?
Sahih.
No, it's da'if.
Oh.
Because he didn't take knowledge from the sahaba.
Oh.
So it's mursal. You understand? He took it from Nafi', who took it from Abdullah ibn Umar. That's his closest chain of narration to the sahaba, right? So,
What if Nafi' said it?
if Nafi said, an wahid min al-sahaba,
We accept it.
yeah, so authentic. Yeah, if he's a person from the Tabi'een that narrates from the Sahaba, and he said one of the companions of the Prophet said, it's authentic because all of the Sahaba are what? They're all adu. They all have adala. They're all of their hadith are accepted. But after the period of the Sahaba, when we go to the period of the Tabi'een, what?
We look into it.
We have to check the person because now you have people that hadith is accepted, you have people their hadith is rejected. But with the Sahaba, Sahabi, their hadith is rejected. No, all of their hadiths are accepted. So if the person says, I'm rajulun min al-sahaba, and you can check, and a lot of times if you go back and check through different chains of narration, and if I had more time, and well, not if I had more time, if the hadith was actually authentic, I might have actually undertaken that task of trying to find out who the Sahabi is, because you can always go back and look up the person who narrates and find out who are the Sahaba that he took the most from. And you can find the name of the Sahabi most of the times, who it is, because generally you have people that just narrate from certain Sahaba. Alright? So, in this case, yes. And if the rest of the chain of narration was authentic, this does not make the hadith da'if. But what makes the hadith da'if is Muhammad ibn Fulan, ibn Talha. Yeah. Alright? That makes the hadith da'if. But he said the same thing. He said basically exactly what the chapter said. إِنَّ الْوُدْ يُتَوَارِث. الْوُدْ what? Yutawarith. Alright, so that the love that you see that the father has for a person, that is inherited because that person, his son, should carry that out. Whatever connections he has. And then, like I said, that the meaning is correct, the hadith is not authentic.
I have a question. What's the difference between wood and mahabba? Wood and mahabba.
No, they mean love. Now, like I said, you asked me this question before. And I told you I don't have the books of Ibn Qutayba with me. So I don't, that'd be something I have to look up there. Like if you want like the very, very, very distinct meaning, you have to look that up in the Fiqh al-Lugha al-Tha'alabi, because it's, everything means love, but it's different levels. It's different levels. Like love is just like hope. It's just one word out of the Arabic language that has that meaning. And there's different levels of it. So,
one more question. What makes Muhammad bin Fulan Talha weak?
it's majhul.
Majhul.
All right, we're going to stop at that hadith because that is the final hadith about specifically the father and the mother. Now we're going to get into different issues in regards to the parents. But that's like the last one for like the actual being righteous to the father and the mother. No, like that specific birrul walidain type of thing. Now we're going to, after this hadith, inshallah, we're going to start to get into different things, different issues. So,
That's a question.
we have another major issue today, but not like last one. Not the fornicating thing. This one is also pretty deep, but not like that. Don't blow up.
Are you sure? I think there's a whole war going on in the chat. Okay. Question. If the whole chain is authentic up to the companion, and the companion is the one who said, one of the companions said, then we take it? Is this correct?
If one of the tabi'een said it, we take it. So if another companion said it, then of course we take it. And you have companions that narrate from other companions, and you have tabi'een that narrate from other tabi'een, and you have, so one hadith, for example, the hadith of Mu'adh. Who narrated that hadith? لما بعث معاذا إلى اليمن.
Ali?
No.
Anas bin Malik?
No. Nobody?
Ibn Umar?
No. Abdullah ibn Abbas.
I thought it was Ali.
You thought wrong.
You know how we talking about that drive?
The drive to get everything wrong.
There's another one.
You didn't even ask the. Oh yeah, you did ask the question. Yeah. But it was something I'd already answered. But yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ustad, it's old times. If you moved to a different city, then you could never talk to your family members as there were no phones. Would that have counter as breaking kinship ties? Counted as.
Depends on what you left for, and if you left with or without the permission. So, I mean, if you went out to seek knowledge and you were gone for 2, 3, 4 years, and you spoke to your mother and your father about it, and they gave you the permission, yeah. I mean, you see like Imam Malik, his mother sent him out to seek knowledge. Imam al-Bukhari, his mother sent him out to seek knowledge. So in that case, no, because you did it with their permission. If you left without their permission, and you didn't speak to them, and you didn't do, then yeah, and in that case, yeah, that would be breaking the ties of kinship.
I have a question.
And in those days, when people traveled from their area, they asked about their family members and they sent messages back to that person that was going back to that area or traveling through past that area. So even though they didn't have phones and all that stuff, they still.
I mean, it happens. I mean, when I went to Yemen, my mother, I didn't get situated. It was like maybe 6 to 8 months before I spoke to my mother. When I was there, she thought I was dead, man. She filed a FBI missing persons report and everything, man. And this is when I found out how attentively the FBI listens to our phones. Because I finally called my mother because she changed her phone number. So I didn't have the phone number. She got married while I was gone and then she moved. So I didn't have the number. So I had to call my grandmother. I remember my grandmother's number. I called her, I got the number. Called my mother, said, I'm all right, don't worry, everything's cool. I can't talk very long because it's too expensive. I love you, bye. Hung up the phone. And then immediately after I hung up the phone, guess who called my mother?
Yeah.
The FBI. So, did you find your son? And she's like, man, she started cursing at him. I can't say what she said. But she was like, you know very well that I just found my son. You think that's a coincidence that y'all just happened to call as soon as I hung the phone up? Yeah. And then you know what they told her? They said, tell your son to leave Yemen. So he has no business being there. No business being there. Nice. Beautiful advice.
لماذا?
Huh?
لماذا?
Because they're idiots. They don't know what to do. They don't want people to do good. And then another question about
بنفسجي
which one؟
بنفسجي نعم.
هذا اسماعيل قلت؟ نعم. هذا من المسلمين الحمد لله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أحسن الله إليكم شيخ.
No Sheikh, Abu Saif.
Would it be okay?
Next person put Sheikh in the comments gets blocked. Let's do that. Abu Saif. Anybody put Sheikh in the comments, you're blocked.
Don't be the man like that.
Because we won't have anybody on the live stream. All right, go ahead. What's the question?
Would it be okay if I may please ask off-topic questions?
What's the question? Oh, they got it right.
I think that was the question.
No, that's not the question.
There's
That's-
nothing.
that's-
No, there's really.
to
There's
ask
nothing.
It's trying to get permission to see.
Oh.
Permission to ask a question.
You go start typing that question, and in 20 minutes, when you get finished, hopefully we'll finish this hadith.
I see it now.
No, if it says typing, we're going to take the hadith and we'll come back to that, inshallah.
No, it's ready.
Oh, that was fast. Huh?
This is Ustad.
Turbo fingers. Go ahead.
This is Ustad. أحسن الله إليكم. No, أحسن الله تعالى إليكم. Is it permissible for
So
one?
you stop saying shake real fast then.
Is it permissible for one to get a long-term business visa to Saudi, not to actually do business, but with the intention of hijrah and to seek knowledge?
I don't know, man. You gotta check out the contract, because when you apply for those visas, there's stipulations, there's conditions, and it's a contract, just like any other contract. So if you go to the country for that purpose, then you have to fulfill whatever that purpose is.
They won't let you out of it anyway.
Huh?
They won't let you out of it anyway.
No, I'm saying what a lot of people do is they go and they get on the business visa, and they go and they work, or they do other things, they seek knowledge, and like I said, it goes back to whatever the conditions are that you're signing, when you sign and you put in for that visa, there's conditions of what you're getting that visa for, and that's what you got to use it for. That's it, you know. That's not saying that you can't use it for seeking knowledge and doing other things. You can, and in the time, but you know, you have to use it for whatever you apply that, because that's a contract. You sign that paper, so you can't lie, you can't do all these types of things, and, you know, it's no deception, so.
There's still one more.
Mm.
Same person. And is it permissible to use this visa if one already got it? And if they lied on the application but repented, alhamdulillah, jazakallahu ta'ala khair.
I mean, that type of situation, you need to go back and ask the ulama.
There's another question.
As far as like, can you still benefit from, because you've already gotten it and you already lied, you shouldn't have lied in the first place. Yeah. It's not permissible to lie, no matter what the circumstances. You can't, because I mean, I get asked this question all the time. Oh, you know, we're trying to get some, you know, assistance from the government, but I make too much money, and my mother doesn't want to put me on the name, so she wants to use somebody else who doesn't. Is it no? It's lying is haram. Khalas. It doesn't matter who it's to. If it's to the kuffar, if it's, especially here in this case, it's to the other Muslims. We're Muslims, we don't lie. And, you know, we're honest. Khalas. If we're applying for something, we apply for it, and we're honest. If they reject it, they reject it. They rejected it, but you were speaking the truth.
What did Rasulullah say? A Muslim is not a liar.
Mm. Everything but that.
He said a Muslim is not a liar. So they fall short in other things, but we're not liars.
And it doesn't matter, even to the kuffar. We don't. You have to be honest, you know. And, you know, like you're applying for food stamps. They ask you how much money you make, and you be honest, and you tell them I make this. Or if they ask you like how much money you got in the bank, you tell them how much money. That's you got to be honest. You can't just like sit there and say, oh, but if I do this, then they're gonna reject me. Well, if they reject you, it's because you don't need them. You know what I'm saying? Because they look at you and say that you have enough money to support yourself, so you don't need them. I mean, I remember like when I was just like, you know, just making like what? I think like $1,800. They said you don't need them. It's like, dude, I can't even pay rent. But I mean, stay patient. Stay patient. You know, you can't make up stories. You can't lie. You can't do anything. So almost done. Another question.
واحد سأل يعني إيش هو دليل إنك تصلي في العشاء في الوسط الليل؟
It's a hadith. You can find it in Bulugh al-Maram.
هذا يريد
So
يفعله.
the Prophet ﷺ said, he said that he kept the Sahaba, they were waiting until like they were all nodding off in the Salat until the time got into like Muntasaf al-Layl, which is halfway to midnight. And then the Prophet ﷺ came out and prayed Isha with the people, and he said, هذا وقته لولا أن أشق على أمتي. This is the time for Isha if it were not that I was going to burden my ummah, put a burden on my ummah, because it'd be too late and the people won't be able to do it. Because like, look, if we prayed 12 o'clock, you know, think about it now. Fajr right now is like 4:15, I think, right?
Most people gonna fall asleep at 9
Yeah.
5, and I'll be able to get back up at 12, and if they get back up at
Most
12,
people ain't making it for Fajr.
yes, then I will make it for
So,
Fajr.
I mean, just like imagine, we pray Isha here at 12. By the time we get home and get into bed, it's probably going to be close to 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, we got to get up like what time? We get up like 3:30, 3:20 just to get here.
So Hajj is gone.
So, yeah, I'm saying, we're only sleep 2 hours. So,
Hajj is gone.
so that's the difficulty for the Ummah. Yeah. So now, of course, we pray. Now, I mean, but it's still from the Sunnah to make the Salat later, but not. Like right now, Salat is going to be getting close to 10 o'clock now. So it's already late, you know. But like, for example, like in the wintertime, when the Salat's like, what time is it here in the winter? Isha.
6:30.
Yeah, like if you said like during the wintertime, you postpone the Salat until like.
It's just like 6:30.
So let's say that you postpone it to like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, where it's not a difficulty, where it's actually making it easier for the people. Yeah.
There's a question. That's funny. Can I spread misinformation to cause people to get questions wrong on exams to lower grade boundaries so I can get a higher grade? Is this haram lying?
Yeah, you paying attention. Are you serious?
I think he's trying to be. Let's block him.
Sounds like game.
They're not causing problems. They're like
Danny, who's
helping
Danny?
causing problems and acting crazy. I used to be here. Alright, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قال الحافظ ابن حجر رحمه الله باب الكفاءة والخيار. الكفاءة والخيار. Now the الكفاءة, it means what? Like a taswiyah, like you know that, like basically the man who's marrying the woman, they have to be what? On that same level. So this is, but it's, the issue is this in regards to deen, or is this regards to dunya, or is it regards to all of it?
This is regards to dunya.
Huh?
This is regards to dunya.
You sure? All right, but you know, and there's difference of opinion. We'll get to that in a second. And wal khiyar is means what? A choice that you know you can choose. All right, that you have a choice in the matter. All right, and this is basically, it goes back. They say that it goes back to four things, right? Arba'atu asbab. Four things that cause the person to, you know, where they're equal at. Number one, or no, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. That's the khiyar. That's when you can choose to cause the marriage just to be. We'll get to that in a second, inshallah. So al-kafa'a, it means al-musawa, which means equality, like to be equal. All right, and he says al-kafa'atu shar'an mu'tabaratun fi khamsati ashya. So in five things that the ulama from before, they said that the people have to be equal in. And we're going to get to the one that really matters, not to what they say. I'm just giving you what they say, and don't take it to heart. All right. Number one, let's see. Number one, ad-deen, which is you can just go ahead and underline that one. You can take that one to heart. All right, the deen. All right, so فَلَيْسَ الْفَاجِرُ وَفَاسِقْ كُفُوًا لِعَفِيفًا. So a immoral, sinful person is not allowed to marry a righteous woman. Khalas. All right. The father, anybody can see the person and say, no, you're not marrying my daughter because you're not righteous. You know, yes. So deen. All right, deen is number one. All right, number two, al-hurriya, which means if, like for example, you have two people, they're enslaved, right? And they're married. One gets his freedom or her freedom. Then what, is the divorce over? Is it automatically the marriage completely canceled or no? No. All right, it's the hadith of Aisha with Burira. All right, where the Prophet ﷺ gave her a choice. She said, if you want, you can keep your husband. If not, you can. So this goes back to the khiyar, which is the choice. So she has a choice to keep the marriage or to do away with it. And she chose what? No, she said, I have nothing to do with him. She said no, because she didn't get married to him because she wanted to. All right, because it was something that she was made to do. So she said, no, I don't have nothing to do with him. She asked the Prophet ﷺ, she said, are you commanding me to do this? Or are you just like trying to tashfa', which means you're trying to intercede on his behalf? He said, no, innama ana ashfa'. So no, I'm just trying to intercede and give you advice. She said, no, I don't want him. So, as long as you're not commanding me, I don't want him. So right away, marriage is finished. Done. All right. Number three, as-sina'a. So this means what?
So what are you calling that? That status? Or is that?
These are all statuses.
No, but what did you call that? What did you call number two?
Al-hurriya, which is the hurriya is freedom. Yeah. All right, as-sina'a, which is goes back to the jobs. So you have people that have a very, very noble profession, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, and he's not going to marry his daughter to a Kentucky Fried Chicken cook. You understand?
Somebody in sanitation.
Or sanitation. They got some benefits, but it's a dirty job. But they got more benefits than all these other dudes, because it's a government job, I mean, yeah.
Here.
Yeah, in America, yeah, not overseas. Yeah, overseas, you're the lowest of the low.
Them over there.
Yeah.
They're not American.
And then this is the case, but this is not, I mean, this is what the people do. But I mean, the father, the brother, anybody can reject a person based on what? You know,
His ability to provide
yeah, because he's going to be taking her out of her
whatever
her living standard, and he's not going to be able to provide. Yeah, he won't even be able to pay the rent cooking fried chicken for KFC, you know. So he's going to have to go and move on up and get, you know, take a step up and go to Amazon or something, you know.
So what is this one called? This one?
As-Sina'a.
Which is?
That's, you know, like industry, like industry or industrial, like, you know. Yeah. فلا يكون صاحب صناعة دنية كحجام وحائك كفؤا لبنت تاجر. So a person who, and they always use this example amongst the Arabs with the hajjam, the person who does the hijama, because that's like a real low job. And then he used the example of the haik, because obviously this is old school. These books are like old. I don't think we have a haik. Like a haik is the one that weaves, like carpets and stuff like that. Not weaves, but weaves. Like not that weave, but that weaving. Yes. All right. Because that person that weaves the hair, no, it's haram to marry that person to the daughter because why?
Because they're cursed.
Yeah, they're cursed and their money's haram. So even if they came with the mahar, it's all haram.
So weave is like fake hair, right?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So we're calling number 3, or we calling that
It's
social
ginger, but it tastes like coffee. It's weird, man. Because there's a coffee mug. I always put the coffee in it, so the ginger tastes like the coffee. Yeah. Huh.
So are we calling number 3 social status or economic
Like,
status? Economic status.
Yeah, like your profession, Like, you know, they have to be like equal. Like, she has no profession, but like, if her father's like a lawyer and he's a partner in a firm, in a law firm, making $250,000 to $500,000 a year, and you're pushing carts at Walmart, and you know, yeah, maybe you love her and everything and all that, but come on, man, you gotta be realistic, man. Stop watching Indian movies, man. It's not gonna work out. Because the parents, like, she's, you know, she might go along with it.
The queen is not coming out of, the princess is not coming out of the palace to marry a thief or a beggar, and that's, it's not, that's fantasy.
Yeah, she pulls up in her Mercedes that her daddy just bought her and says, wow, look at that guy pushing carts. I want him to be my husband. You know, it's like, it's just something to dream about every night as a 15-year-old, but you know, yeah.
Sure.
But it's only real when you close your eyes. But yeah. All right, so now, number 4, I don't even know what I wrote. Al-Yasar bin Mal. Like, basically, like, he has, you know, he has sufficient money to support his family. All right. حسب ما يجب لها من النفقة والمهر فلا يكون المعسر كفوا للمعسر. All right. So the person who has sufficient funds, is not, you know, like, for example, she comes from a family where they got it easy, right? Money's there, she's got what she needs, everything. And then, you know, here you come, you know, with your food stamp card, and you know, and you know, like, come on, man, we can get some clothes from the thrift store type of thing, you know, and then put her into this type of living. No, I mean, the father more than likely is gonna say, get out of my house quickly. Yes. But like I said, these things are not. These are what people do, and these are what people use as criteria. And then if the father rejects you based on that criteria, then he's got a wedge. Like, he has the, you know, perspective for it. But this is not from the deen. As far as the deen, we're going to get to that in a second. All right, number 5, an-nasab, which means the lineage. So if she's Arabi, then they didn't like in the past to marry the girls who have pure Arab lineage to an Ajami, which is a person who's not Arab, no matter who the person is. All right, and well, we're going to get back to this inshallah in a second. All right, and also if she is Arabi, but she's like, for example, she's Qurashi, and the other person is from another tribe that's below Quraysh, or she's Hashimi, and the other person's below, then that's, so this is what the people used to reject people based on this criteria. Now, all right, so, beautiful, huh?
No.
Huh?
Actually, yes.
Now these are the 5 things that the ulama, no, but I'm saying these are the ulama they talk about, but there's only one that has evidence for it. It's the deen, So that's that, So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned all the things, that the woman, she's married for what?
Beauty.
For her beauty,
Status.
her status, and her lineage.
Yeah.
So that's from amongst these 3, because the status,
Yeah.
it goes to Sinaa, and it goes to Yusar al-Mal. All of that goes into the status because they have a high status, because the father has a noble profession and he's got enough money. So all of these 4 things other than the deen, but then he said, فَضْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ.
The one
Yeah.
who marries for those is lost, and the one who marries for deen is the winner.
Yes. All right. Any questions about this before we go on?
No.
All right. So that's the kafar, right? So let's read the hadith and let's see what the hadith is da'if anyways, but let's read it anyways. عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم العرب بعضهم أكفاء بعض والموالي بعضهم أكفاء بعض إلا هائكا أو حجاما. رواه الحاكم وفي إسناده راو لم يسم واستنكره أبو حاتم وله شاهد عند البزار عن معاذ بن جبل بسند منقطع. So everybody just said this hadith is daif. This hadith is like no doubt about it being weak. Like, there's no question asked. But he said al-Arab ba'dahum akfa'u ba'd. So the Arab are akfa'u ba'd, that means that they're on the same level and they shouldn't marry
Other than that.
below them, yes. All right, wal mawali ba'dahum akfa'u ba'd. And the mawali here, it means the ajam. The non-Arabs are akfa'u ba'd, and that they are on the same level. And they shouldn't, إِلَّا حَائِكًا أَوْ حَجَّامًا, except for if the person is a ha'ik. What do we say the ha'ik is? The weaver. Or the hajjam, the person who does the hijama. It doesn't matter, even if he's from the Arabs, then he's low. If he's from the Ajam, then he's low. Alright. This hadith is super, super, super daif. So daif. So it's like there's no hujjah for this hadith. And Al-Hafidh Ibn Hajar, he brought the hadith for what purpose? To show,
The meaning?
no, he's showing that this is what the people use to show that this is a part of this criteria. But he's brought the hadith that's right after it, which is hadith number 1000, to show that it's about what? It has nothing to do with any of these things. So now, let's look at hadith number 1000 so we can go on to the other stuff.
Hadith right after it?
Shaykh al-Albani, I did write something about what Shaykh al-Albani said about this hadith. He said, إِنَّ طُرُقَ الْحَدِيثِ أَكْثَرُهَا شَدِيدَةُ الضَّعْفِ. So Shaykh al-Albani said that the majority of the chains of narration are very, very severely weak. Alright. فَلَا يَطْمَئِنُّ الْقَلْبُ لِتَقْوِيَتِهِ. So the heart does not find any peace in making any of these chains of narration strong for this hadith. They're all weak. وَلَا سِيَّمَا وَقَدْ حَكَمَ عَلَيْهِ بَعْضُ الْحُفَاظِ بِالْوَضْعِ. And he said, especially because a lot of the huffaz, the ulama of hadith, they have, given the ruling of this hadith that it's mawdu', which means it's a lie. It's not even, it's a lie of the Prophet. Like the Prophet didn't even say it. Like it's, the made up narration. وَمِنْهُمْ Ibn Abdul Barr. And Ibn Abdul Barr was one of the people who said that. Now, do you think if Shaykh al-Albani said that the hadith has any hope? No. So that's done, right? Now, if we look at the next hadith, when Fatima bint Qais. Now, Fatima bint Qais is from who? She's Makhzumiyah. And Makhzumiyah is what? From Quraysh. So she's Qurayshi, right? All right, she's Qurayshi. Yes or no? Yes. Yes? Yes. Did you know that? No, now you know. So Fatima bint Qais, radiallahu anha, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أنكه what? إنكه, sorry. Usama. Rawahu Muslim. And this is just a little piece of the hadith. All right. This is only a small portion of the hadith. But this was because, I think I might have wrote the hadith in its entirety somewhere around here. I didn't write the whole entire hadith, but she asked about 3 people, right? the people that were coming to her to ask to get married. And then the Prophet ﷺ told her, he said, قال صلى الله عليه وسلم أما أبو جهم. That was one that was trying to get married to her. We spoke about this hadith and when did we speak about this? And this we spoke about it earlier. When?
So what?
This hadith. Because Abu Jahm went to her, Muawiyah went to her, and then he told her, no, marry Usama. But we spoke about this narration, this hadith when?
We spoke about this.
لا يخطب أحدكم في خطبة أخيه.
This is the one where you have to tell
Yeah.
something that you know about the person
No.
when they come to marriage.
No, if you get engaged to a girl, the impermissibility of another brother going and trying to get engaged to that girl, because we use this hadith to show if they don't know, because here two people went to her to get engaged. I said three is two. So it was Abu Jahm and Muawiyah. They both went to her to get married. And even though they went and asked her to get married, the Prophet ﷺ still told her what? Enkihi Usama. He told her, marry Usama. So this shows not the permissibility, but to show that it doesn't affect it if the person what? Doesn't know. He doesn't know. Because they probably, more than likely, they didn't know. Or maybe they both agreed and said, hey, let's both go to her, try to marry her, and let's see who gets it. You know, who knows? Who knows what the... Yeah.
When the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inkihi Usama, as in Rawahu Muslim over here, is that an order? Like, is it like...
No, it's advice.
Advice.
But we'll get to that in a second. Hold on. So he said, أما أبو جهم فلا يضع أصاه عن عاتقه. And we mentioned this. That he doesn't put his stick down. What does that mean?
He doesn't stop beating women.
Yeah, he's known for beating women and relentlessly. Alright, وَمَا مُعَاوِيَةَ فَصُعْلُوكُ لَا مَالَ لَهُ. Alright, so Muawiyah is Su'luk, he's poor and he has no money. أنكحي Usama, Usama ibn Zayd. فَكَرَهْتَهُ. And she said, I hated him. And we're going to know why in a second, inshallah. ثُمَّ قَالَ إِنْكَحِي Usama. And then he said again, marry Usama. فَنَكَحْتَهُ فَجَعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا وَأَخْتَبَطُ بِهِ. So she said, then I married him. I took the advice of the Prophet ﷺ and I married him. And she said, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused that to be a lot of good for me. And I caused the people to be jealous of me. Now, Usama was known for what? Number one, what color was he? He was dark. He like Kani Yamilu ila Sawad. So he's almost black. He was like a dark Arab, right? So that's already generally one strike against him. Number two is his father got captured. And so it became like a capture in a war. It got sold off into slavery. All right, and he got sold into slavery. So that's why he's Mola. All right, no, Mola means a freed slave. All right, so that's another one. Even though he had the choice, the father had the choice because his parents came to get him. He had a family. But he just got captured in warfare and sold into slavery. This also happened to another Sahabi who's not Arab. Who? Salman al-Farsi, because he was coming to the Jazirat al-Arab because he heard about the messenger that was going to come out. So he wanted to see him, and he got captured and sold off into slavery. And that's how he that's how he found out, because he eventually sold him, and he was close to Medina, so he went and visited the Prophet ﷺ, and then he bought his freedom. So yes, so the Mola is the person who's gotten his freedom. So he had a choice, because the father was eventually sold to who? Or given, not sold to, but given to who? Khadija, radiallahu anha. So, and then the father had the father, which is Zayd, he had a choice because the family came and they said, here, we're with you, we want you back now, we're here, now we finally found you, come with us. And the Prophet ﷺ, this is before the Nubuwwah, he said, you can go with them, or you can stay with me, it's your choice. And he was giving them, it's like, you have your freedom, go with your family. And I don't know the authenticity of all this. This is all from Sirah. So, what I'm saying? Like, take it with a grain of salt, all right? So, and then he chose to stay with the Prophet, and even his family was like, well, leave us over for him. And then turns out that, who was one of the earlier people to enter into Islam? Yes. Wanted to see, did he enter into Islam before Abu Bakr or no?
Who?
Zayd. Type in who were the first people. Obviously, Khadija is number one.
I thought he was after Abu Bakr.
We'll see.
So it was Khadija, Khadija. That was the slave, not the stepson, right? The foster son.
Yeah, that's the father, Zayd.
Yeah.
Osama is the son.
نمبر رسول
Hmm?
نمبر روح الصوف بعدين
Why?
بعدين
ليش؟ ايش تشتهي؟ ها؟ شيء في نفسك ايش؟
Ben and Jerry's.
No. Told you, man, don't even say the word Ben. That word is a curse word in this masjid. Ben and Jerry's is not to be said in this masjid anymore. We do not support the kuffar. Oh, okay. Not those kuffar. Not this, we're not going to support the kuffar and the killing of ourselves. All right, let's say that.
Yeah.
Well, now you're going to have to recant your two best friends.
Yeah, they're Sunny Hills or Sunny. These are my new best friends.
Sunny and Select.
Sunny, something like that. You find
I
it?
can't find like a reliable source.
He's one of the early.
He's in the top
Yeah.
5 or top
If
7.
you check like Al-Iraq, he wrote a poem in the Sirah. I'll check it when I get home, inshallah. See what his opinion was. But anyway, so that's that. So if you see, like, he's from the Mawali. So he's from a father who got his freedom from slavery. She's Qurayshi. And the Prophet ﷺ told her what? Marry Osama. So does that mean that the Prophet ﷺ cared about these 4 or 5, these other 4 other things, about his money, his industry, his lineage? I mean, he has a lineage, Arab. You know, it's not like he's like, you know, from like, you know, Uganda or something like that. I mean,
His
he's...
love of Allah and his love of the Prophet ﷺ is high. That's his status.
Yeah, it's deen. So,
His love of the Rasul.
so Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar, rahimahullah, he brought this hadith here to show, one, this hadith is da'if, and he made that very clear that this hadith is da'if. Then immediately after that, he brought the hadith of, you know, Inkahi Osama, to show that the kafa'a al-mu'tabara is deen. Huwa deen. It's not anything else. We don't care what the lineage is of the person is, if the person is deen. What we do care about is we care about that a righteous woman is not married to a fasiq. You know, you get a righteous woman who's trying to memorize Quran, and then you marry her to some gay-looking dude who listens to Drake or something. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then now you call that marriage equal? No, that's destruction for that girl. That is not permissible to marry her to that dude ever. You know, or vice versa. Or marrying a righteous man to a girl who comes from a family of just corruption and chaos. And, you know, even if she might say that, oh, I'm righteous, but she's got a sister who's a dancer and another sister who's a prostitute, and now you're going to marry her. No, I mean, and you're supposed to be righteous. You don't want to be into that environment. So the thing that we look at is the issues of the deen. And we look at the deen of the person before we look at the lineage, before we look at all that stuff. Does not matter, because the deen is what's going to put the barakah in the marriage. That's going to make the marriage successful or not successful. All that other stuff, it's nothing. I mean, how many people, a rich girl married to a rich man, not happy? A person with a high lineage married to a person with another person with a high lineage, not happy. And another person, the daughter of a big businessman married to the son of a big businessman, not happy. But then find 2 people that married for the sake, for the deen. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts barakah. And here she said, فَكَرَهْتُهُ, I disliked him. I didn't want to marry him. But then she took the advice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and married him. So that's obedience to the messenger. So she did it for deen. So she took his advice and she married him, and she said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made so much good in the marriage. And the people became jealous of me because of him. And where in the beginning, she was like, no. She said, Karaktahu. I didn't like him. What's the question?
Well, This one's from well, there's three, but I'm gonna go with my question first. Because we were talking about the wali.
He doesn't, see that he like leaves the guests.
No, you have to.
You ask their questions.
This is first
No.
class.
No,
This is
you
first
have to ask
class.
their
No,
question
no,
first,
no.
because
Because you can
you're
ask
here.
me
We
anytime.
got you here all the time. You gotta answer their
They
questions first.
they don't get that
Oh
opportunity.
man, you gotta ask their questions first.
So I look
How
down.
about that, man?
I
How
look
about
down
that?
and just see my question.
Majad's not happy. You don't like
You know what I
this,
said? I said I'll say my question is look.
Get the stick.
No, okay, this
You think this is right, Majad, what he's doing?
okay, but this is my question was more beneficial, but
We need to block Hamza now.
We need a new question screener.
this is a question. Thomas the tank engine.
Man, what is this?
I told you, hey, you said read the question, that's what I'm doing.
What does this have to do with anything?
هو كان صورة
What's the question?
No, I'm saying this is like the second time somebody asking about this stupid cartoon. What is this, Akhi? Go. Let me entertain us. Go ahead.
Thomas the Tank Engine was written by a priest.
Oh, he's just giving information because I said I don't know anything about it, right?
No, the question is coming up. I don't think it will make people gay. In the books, these are drawn pictures on the pages with faces of the steam engines. Is this halal for children?
Of course not. It's a sword. So it's a ta'awun ala al-ithmi wal udwan. You're promoting, you're supporting that because if you're watching it, you're supporting it. And then what does that show? That
The cartoons.
it's the cartoons and
The cartoons are created and designed to educate children.
to
Miseducation.
miseducate,
Right.
to brainwash and propagandize.
Our
And,
deen, we don't take our ilm deen, our knowledge from any of these people outside of Islam.
huh? ايش؟
Who is Haru name?
Eh,
No, Haru.
قالوا disappointed عليه
What's that?
واحد disappointed على
Apparently
حمزة.
someone's disappointed in me. How does he even know my name? Nothing.
Because I keep saying your name. How did they know Mujahid's name? Now Mujahid is becoming one of the most famous people on social media now.
He has competition now. But this is another.
He doesn't have competition because if you keep saying I'm going to ask my question first, then nobody's going to like you. They're going to say your name, but it's not going to be in a good light.
واحد قال كلهم disappointed عليه.
What?
واحد قال كلهم disappointed عليه.
Yeah, they should be.
Let me see. Everyone, we were all disappointed.
They should be. I'm going to ask my question first. What? And he's Yemeni. Yemeni, a country that's known for being the most hospitable to the guests, you know. Oh, this is what happened when you raise your children
Kids
up.
in America.
No, but there was maslahat. Oh shoot.
Come on, man. What's the second question? We're skipping the
This
question.
one.
And he just wants to confuse everything so he can ask his question.
No, there's a second
There's
one.
two more questions, man. Come on.
No. Oh, the third one. Okay. Is it allowed to keep a book on the shelf if there's a picture of a human on the side?
Cross the picture out. Take a magic marker and
Cover it. Take or do something over it.
I don't know if it's got a cover, just take the cover off the book.
Most people. This is the third
Because if
question.
it's an English book, a lot of those English books they have that little cover thing. Just take it off. There's no pictures on the covers of the inside.
This one says, most people are misguided though. Most people are, I think he meant to say, following the kuffar, but we stick to the sunnah. But is it allowed to a
See,
Muslim?
That butt part is what scares me. You know? But we're supposed to stick to the sunnah. But
Here it comes.
let's hear it.
But is it allowed to a Muslim to say the N-word?
It's not allowed for nobody to say it.
بسبب باكستان.
Nobody should say that.
That's the question.
Even like, you know, wallahi, akhi, even a black person to another black person should never say it. It's disrespectful, you know, because you know the origin of it. I think, does anybody here not know the origin of it? And to say that to, I mean, no.
Well, there's a lot of false origins of it.
But I'm saying that we know the origin of it, all right? I mean, it comes from Spanish, but then the Southerners kind of twisted it up and put their own little Southern taste on it.
That's the last question?
That was the last question.
Okay, let's have your question.
But yeah, there's still one more question. This is the last question. Okay. But notice mine's gonna be related to the
That's
thing.
okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
It's about the wali. So, okay, I know.
Does he watch Bob, what is it, Tom the Train, or what is it? Okay.
But let's just say.
SpongeBob or Barney.
Oh no. This week it said.
Barney's too old, man. You're too old. I don't think these dudes know what Barney
No, we
is.
know.
Oh, you know Barney? That's why you messed up. Go ahead.
I said I know. I said I don't know. No. It's So let's just say there's a good righteous girl, and her father's Muslim, but her father is like a hardcore Zaydi Shia, or he's like a hardcore Sufi, but he's still a Muslim. Is it still permissible for that girl to have him as the wali, or should she go to the grandfather?
Yeah, you just said it. He's still a Muslim.
Okay.
So bid'ah doesn't take him out of Islam, then no.
Okay. I was
Doesn't
wondering.
matter. I mean, even if he's a fasa, you know, but he's still Muslim. You know, like he smokes, he doesn't pray in the masjid, he does all this other type of stuff, and he's considered a fasa. No, he's still the wali of the girl. None of that can take him out of being the wali. The only thing that can take him out of being the wali for that girl is, you know, like leaving the deen in his mind, like not him like being like straight up, him being like the inhabitants that get dropped on their heads at Abdul Malik's house every night. You know, it's like, you were right here for that.
Said inhabitants. He
The
said
inhabitants, I
inhabitants.
should say the inmates.
He
That
didn't say
get,
residents.
But they have the best medical care immediately.
yeah, because
So don't worry.
yeah, he drops him, he picks him up, slams him on the head, and calls an ambulance right away. It's like, y'all come here and scoop him up. And you got to watch it last night, huh?
Is there any more questions?
He was here when all the police pulling up, man. Because he sends me a message.
Police
And no, he sends me a video, 10:27 last night. And he sends me a video of police pulling up.
No, but I tell
And he
you
said,
because you
it's
guys
on,
are-
it's on.
No, I said, because you guys are watching the cameras, and when the police and the fire truck and everything pull up, so as they're pulling up, I'm telling you, okay, they're here.
No, you didn't say they're here, you said,
Oh, yeah,
you said it's on. You said it's on, and then the police come pulling up. And then there's some miskin guy like sitting at the side of the road
Down the street.
getting handcuffed. Oh my God, that was classic though. That was classic. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to go to sleep, and it's like, it's on. I'm like, subhanAllah, we miss everything. Anything else? There's other questions or what?
There's another one. Okay. Yeah, this is an off-topic question too. Ustad, what about different manhaj? I heard some scholars say we have to marry a person who is on the same manhaj, and some say as long as they're practicing Muslims. What's your view about this? What's the correct view?
I mean, if she comes from like a hardcore Sufi family, like where they're practicing Sufis, I'm not talking about like Sufi by name,
What are those super Sufis?
like the super Sufi.
I don't know. They're not.
You know, like where her father's breakdancing in the masjid type stuff, beating the drum, jumping up and down, hoo. You know, like those real super Sufis, you know. If she's from that, no, don't marry her. Now, why would you marry her? Why would you marry into that family? Because you're marrying her and you're marrying the family with her. So that's that, you know. And the same thing, if she's from a family that's hardcore Zaidi and they're practicing, like they take that stuff seriously, why would you marry her? Why would you take that upon yourself? Now, it's not saying that you have to marry a girl who's like upon the correct Quran, Sunnah, ala tariq salaf salih, but you have families that don't really have deen. They're Muslim, right? But they're not, you know, oh, like we follow this or we follow that. They're just like, you know, they go to the masjid, they pray, you know, like their grandfather. He's just in the masjid every day. You talk about this group, that group, yeah, Jesus tell you, man, you know, like this, you know, old Yemeni guy, like, what is this? He doesn't even want to talk about it. So you get somebody from like that type of family, it's fine. It's like, what's the problem? Because they're not, but we're talking about like, her father went and studied in like, Dar al-Mustafa and Hadramaut, and he's Mr. Sufi dude, and he's got like, this is the sand from the grave of the Prophet, like this type of stuff. Nah, I wouldn't marry from a family like that ever. Never. I wouldn't advise nobody to.
This is the last question right here. It says, Assalamu alaikum, Ustad. Is there a specific period
Specific
of
or
time?
specific?
Specific.
No, there's an.
Atlantic. You said
He does this all the time. I keep telling him, I'm like, well, Pacific, man, we're from the Atlantic, man, I'm from the East Coast,
Is there a specific period of time?
So it's written specific, and you said Pacific.
Yeah.
All right, so
Must
let
have-
everybody know what Hamza is the one that says Pacific.
Of a time that the engagement should last? Should we stay away from waiting years to get married because the woman is not finished with education?
No, absolutely not. You can get married the same day that you got engaged. Who's to put a time limit on that? In fact, they used to get married. You saw the guy. The guy, we took the hadith about the man when he told her, he said, the girl came and she wanted to give herself to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what? He said, the guy said, if you have no need for her, marry me to her. So in the same setting, he asked the Prophet to marry her, and they got married in the same setting, the same sitting. Not setting, but the same sitting. So khalas, I mean, that's how they used to do things back then. All this waiting for her to get married, you're going to send her to college.
Okay.
Where she's mixed with all these boys, all this chaos.
She's gonna get mixed on, right?
Yeah. You're going to real mixed up. And then now you're going to wait until she comes out of all of that chaos and then say, now you're going to get married.
You can't save her after that.
Yeah, come on, man. Seriously. That's that. Well, like, number one, why would you want to put your children through that punishment anyways? And just think, like, isn't it so much easier to focus on college if you got something to go to? One, the girl shouldn't be in those colleges in the first place. Let's just deal with that. Now, if we're talking about, okay, she's in the college, it's all girls. Okay, alhamdulillah, but still.
Not here. That's worse. That's worse.
I'm saying it's still, I mean,
Bro.
once that girl reaches that age,
هذا ظلم.
once that girl reaches that age where, nah, man, like the parents are doing the girls way huge disservice. Huge disservice, waiting until she's like 23, 24. I mean, overseas, in Yemen and all these places, 24, she's like a grandma.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's done. I mean, it's like the only one that she's gonna get married to is a.
Morocco and other places, when she get that age, she's gonna be home with her mother and father from now on.
Yeah, because those dudes that got
Marriage is off the table for her. At that
those dudes that got the money, they want her when she
Yeah.
before she goes through all of that stuff. They want her, as early as possible.
Now.
Yeah, so all that 23, 24, and then on top of that, then you get then her parents are like, well, you got to marry from this type of family, and he's got to have this, and he's got you see like with the Pakistanis, oh my God, he's got to have a master's degree, he's got to have this type of job. That girl, wallahi, man, that's evil. Wallahi, it's so evil.
If they lose them to somebody that's jumping through the window in high school,
Yeah.
they lay all that out. They end up
Oh, she ends up getting done in by Iceberg Slim. I think, so Iceberg Slim comes along, and next thing you know, she's out there getting sold in the street somewhere. And how many times does that happen? In America, it's very, very common. Yeah. What's the next question? So this is it, man. We got to roll.
You sent it? Or is it this one?
هذا هو ثاني.
Okay.
Now everybody up there now probably like Iceberg Slim. Who's Iceberg? Like now we don't know about the globe. We don't know, and then they're gonna find his autobiography, and it's gonna be really over.
This is extremely off-topic question.
Uh-oh.
But is it allowed to make dua where you ask Allah to let you surpass scholars of the past, such as saying, "Let me surpass Imam Ahmad in deeds." Jazakallahu khairan.
You make dua whatever you want, but I mean, I would be just pleased with even being the same as one of them, Like Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar, he was known for going to Zamzam. Who was it? Was it Ibn Abdul Barr? Who? Check it. Who did Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar, he drank Zamzam and he made dua to have the memory of a specific alim. Who was it?
Imam al-Zahabi.
Was it Dahabi? I think it was. Okay, it was Dahabi.
Man, these imams.
But he didn't say like, let me surpass him. He said, just give me the memory of Imam al-Dahabi. So that was, and Hafidh ibn Hajar. Look what he did, you know.
Man, you want to surpass people who were set.
Oh, you ain't surprising me.
With the who traveled and got hadiths from. I mean, how could you surpass? You have to study.
I mean, look, you
300 years to surpass somebody who sat with. Man,
you can make the dua. You can make the dua. But put in the work that they put in, you know.
I'm saying you have to travel and sit at the feet of people.
That's what they're gonna have to, because that dua ain't gonna be sit. While you're sitting at home watching Tom the Train or whatever this guy.
You know, Thomas persecuted for standing on what you stand on to become even in their arena.
That's what I'm saying. You can make the dua, but put in the action.
This
Put in the action.
is the last question.
Because that's like the foolishness of dua. It's like, oh, Ya Rabbi, please, I want to get married. Give me a righteous wife. And he's acting like a fool, and he doesn't get a job, and he sits at home all day picking his nose. You know, and playing with his phone, playing video game. Oh, yeah, that's the best one. The PlayStation guy who's making dua for everything in the world while he's sitting there, you know, fighting the world in Call of Duty or something. No, that's foolishness. That's safaha. You know, that's foolishness for dua. If you want to make dua, make dua. You can make dua for whatever it is, but go put the work in for it. You know, make me the next Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Tell you, put in the work of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. You already got a slow start because Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, when he was a kid, he didn't used to even play with the kids. He was out there, he was already studying and learning.
Hafiz the Quran before the age of 4.
No, not that early, but yeah, I mean, he was up there like 7, 8 years old. Yeah.
This is the last one. Is sarcasm lying? 3-word question.
What's the sarcasm?
That's how the question is.
It depends. I mean, how are you using it? Are you using it like a lie, or are you using it like some people? They like, oh, I'm just joking, but he's really telling the truth, and say, oh, I'm just being sarcastic, but he's really telling, you know. Like, I'll sit there and tell my kids, like,
it's not one thing. What type of sarcasm?
Like, for example, my kids, they know. They do something stupid. What did I always say to y'all? Inshallah, we're acting really smart today, aren't we? Because I want them to get the word smart in their head, not the word what? Stupid. I don't want them to hear stupid, because then it starts to get in that subconscious. And then every time that they can't do something, then they're gonna just think, well, I'm too stupid, I can't do it. You know, it's because the parents, they do that, you know. So I mean, in that case, I'm not lying to them. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, there's other types of sarcasm where you're actually straight up lying to them. This is like what? Tafa'ul bil khayr. You know, you speak good. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said what? But it's sarcasm, but it has a purpose. You know, there's a purpose behind it where the Prophet ﷺ said, Tafa'ul bil khayr tajidu. You know, if you speak about good, you'll find it. You know, like you speak in a good way. So like you go to a sick person and say, MashaAllah, you're looking good today. Even though the dude's sick, like, you know, but you're doing this to make him feel better. The hopes that, you know, it might, you know, start to make him, really, I'm starting to, yeah, exactly, you know. So things like that. So, I mean, that type of sarcasm. But if you're like straight up lying, you know, like people like sarcasm, like how they are in like arguments and things like that, no, that's one, rude. Disrespectful, and who's known for doing that a lot? That idiot Houston.
Charleston.
No. Oh, he's in Fort Worth.
Harvard?
Yeah, Mr. Harvard. Mr. Harvard is known for that type of sarcasm. But that's disrespectful. Yeah. It's another guy, another social media.
Specialty.
Another
special.
He belongs with you, and they're like under your care, I should say.
Yeah, maybe you should slam him on his head. Any other questions, man?
I don't know. I slam them guys with love. I might not understand.
Yeah, because he's back today, ain't he?
You know what I'm saying? I slam these guys with love. These guys I might not be able to.
Yeah.
Oh, he back? The dude yesterday back?
He slammed the dude that you guys chased in the backyard.
Oh, he back over there?
Yeah. And he slammed him last night.
Again?
قد قلنا الأسئلة.
He got his hospital bracelet and his medication.
He's got his hospital bracelet and his medication. He's all right. He's got his.
He's sleeping it off.
He's sleeping it off. He's gonna be all right.
I'll
That headache will go away in a couple days. Don't worry about it.
Those are one.
That's what I was telling you, man. I'm like, dude. I'm like, when we were talking today, I'm like, who's that stupid? You look at his forearms, Akhi, bigger than that dude's legs, man, and you think, and you're gonna mouth off to him. And you know, all I can see is just shoot, boom. You know, it's like, like, what is that? Like, how much did he probably like? How much? What did it feel like? Probably like,
Maybe 110, 115, maybe.
yeah, just scoop him up and just.
Yeah, I can grab him by the waist and snatch him all the way out of the chair with one hand. Have him up in the air like this. I'll hold on to his hair just to guide him where I'm going to take him to.
This is one.
He uses all the because he got dressed, right?
Now he's got
Oh.
afro. He's got afro.
Oh, so they use the hair as a steering wheel, huh? I don't want you to fly over here.
I don't want you propelling you on the got you.
Or grab him like a drumstick and just throw it over. But this
This is the last question, man.
No, yeah. Is
It's
it
Monday, it's not Friday, Saturday.
is it
It's
correct?
a holiday. Give him a couple more.
It's not a holiday tomorrow. That's not a holiday for us anyways. I mean, yeah, the kids and everybody.
They're having a, they're
Oh, yeah.
enjoying their holiday.
Is it correct to think Allah sometimes says sarcasm in the Quran?
What?
You can read it. That's what it says.
You got a better question than that?
No.
I don't want to end it off with that.
Okay. Well, I have a question.
Sarcasm in the Quran.
That's what it says. But my question was, so when the Prophet, which one?
أنت تقدر تسأل بعدين.
I
I
said,
mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says strong statements against the kuffar. ذُقْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ إيش عزيز عزيز الكريم. And I was told, who's, look it up.
I always wondered what that verse was.
No, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, like, okay, you think that you're Aziz and you think you're Kareem, then you go look this take this punishment. So he said,
You
man,
say they get the reward for what they, you talk about all the evil and wicked they do and said they get their reward. Like, I mean, that's as
I'm
close
not-
as you can, if you want to consider something sarcasm, that would be as
Mm.
close as you would find it.
yeah, but that's a straight statement. Though. That's not there's no sarcasm in there. Like Allah is telling him
I
this.
mean,
This is a what? You know, so-
you get your reward.
yeah. So it's Abu Jahl, I think. Who was it for? Check it. No, it wasn't Abu Jahl. SubhanAllah. I gotta go back and read Tafsir again, man.
So what's your question, Hamza? We can't end on that one.
It was when the Prophet ﷺ, when he said like no, when the what is it, the Sahabi, he said like if you have nothing, like no desire with her, can you marry her to me? Does that mean like during the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ, he was the wali of all the women, of all the Muslim women?
Well, if they didn't have a wali, as he said, Sultan al-Wali, waliyun liman la wali lahu. So,
Hamza.
the Sultan or the person in authority is the wali for the.
What is this?
Huh?
Okay, as said, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I would like to ask for recommendations for soon-to-be mothers to read and gain knowledge about raising children. You can read this, Akhi.
You didn't look up the tafsir.
No, I did, and then we got it was the KSU, right? KSU. Sorry.
I don't think the KSU website is up right now, man.
It's working right now?
It is?
Mm.
Okay, somebody's doing me wrong, man.
Here.
Well, we got it. What you got? Qurtubina. The easiest way to go to Baghawi. You want to check the tafsir quickly? Go to tafsir al-Baghawi. ثم يقال له ذق هذا العذاب إنك قرأ الكسائي أنك بفتح أن العزيز وقرأ الآخرون بكسرها على الابتداء إنك أنت العزيز الكريم عند قومك بزعمك وذلك أن أبا جهل كان يقول أنا عز أهل الوادي وأكرمهم فيقول له هذه الخزنة خزنة النار على طريق الاستحقار وتوبيخ. So he's like basically, okay, you think you're Aziz, you know, you're the Aziz, you're the Kareem, you know, take this punishment, you know. But that's a wow. It's not any type of like sarcasm. It's like it's belittling them and showing that you're nothing, that you're going to get this punishment and you're not as Aziz as you think you are and you're not as Kareem as you think. That's what it was for Abu Jahl.
That was it.
Fatima, start up your car. You can't sit there with the key on that long without the battery dying. Start up your car.
He's talking to the live because he's sending a message. Should I send it out? You think?
She might not hear me. Let's
Start your car. Because you can't sit there with.
She can't sit there with the key on watching the live when she has a bad battery.
You can't sit there with the key on watching the live and you got a bad battery, so start the car. Make sure that you can start the car before everybody leaves. Any other questions? Nothing? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك.
Adhan?